Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you're watching this video from. You're welcome to my YouTube channel. Today, I'm going to do IGCSE past paper questions. I'm going to do paper 4 question, where calculator is allowed. I'm doing the full paper. The time zone, I'm going to do 4.41, time zone 4.1. Okay, the paper is 2 hours. And I'm doing May, June 2025, 4.1 time zone. Paper 4. Okay, guys, are you ready? Let us try to go through this one. Okay, let us start this party now. Good. Normally, they give you the formulas, but I always advise students it's better to have these formulas in your head. Just this page is there for you, just for reference. Double check your work to be 100% sure. But it's better if you know the formulas in your head. It helps you to interpret your questions very well. So, okay. Now, first question here, they told you solve 4c minus 9 equals to 13. So 4c, take 9 the other side. So you're going to have 13 plus 9. 4c is equal to 22. Divided by 4 both sides. So this is the answer you're going to get. Very good. Remember, you have a calculator in this paper. Then they say work out this. So you put this one in your calculator and work out that. Be careful, please. I would advise you put the outside and even put the bracket here. Okay? And be careful with the way you're writing this one. Okay? This is what you're expected to get. And they said it's 2 significant figures. So if they said it's 2 significant figures and this is your answer, so you are coming here and the number after is the 5 is greater than 5. So when I put it here, we make my answer to be this one. Okay, very good. And you have to make sure you write 8.0 because they said 2 significant figures. If you write only 8, you will get 1 mark. Okay, next question. Question 3. Now, in the USA, one of fuel costs this. Okay, be careful with that. It's one of them costs that. And in UK, 1 liter of fuel costs this. Okay, very good. The exchange rate is this one. Okay, be careful with that. Now, also this one here. I hope you're seeing that. So 1 pound costs this dollars, right? So how much can I convert this one? If I convert and because the liter is this one, okay? Do you see that? So how much is it going to be? How much in total? How much is that? So when you work out this, you're going to have this as dollars, right? Okay, these are dollars. The cost of 1 liter in UK in dollars will be this one. Okay. Now we have this, and 1 liter is that. So how many liters do we have? We're going to have this, the cost of 1 liter. So what's the difference? If you find the difference between this and this, that's how you're going to get this one. So in other words, they said, in which country does 1 liter of fuel cost more? By how much? So it's in UK and by this one, okay? Very good. The next question is about transformation. And then the question says, describe fully the single transformation that maps shape A to B. Shape A maps shape A to B. The B is here. Do you see that? So this is my shape A to B. What transformation happened? So I can pick 1 point. Let me pick this one. 1. It starts from here. This is 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It moved 8 units to the right. Do you see that? So how many steps did it move down? 1, 2, 3. Negative 3. So it's translation. Why? The shape stays the same. Nothing changed. No rotation, no reflection, no enlargement. It's exactly the same shape that moved from one position another. So it's translation 8 units to the right and the negative 3 units down. Okay, then they say describe a single transformation that maps shape A into shape C. Shape A into shape C. Okay, when you see this shape was rotated. The way you can see that it was rotated this way because you see it's upside, like kind of upside down. It moved this way. You see that? So that's why I'm saying rotation 90 degrees anti-clockwise, okay? It moved this way. 90, rotation 90 degrees anti-clockwise. What's the center? Now, you have to use your tracing paper. I hope you know how to do that. Use your tracing paper to keep on trying to find out what was the center. So if you check the question, the center was the 0, 0. You can even check how far each is, right? Each point is. So it's 0, 0. Very good. On the grid, draw the image of the shape A after reflection on the line x equals z negative 2. So this is the line x equals negative 2. Then I'm reflecting this 1, 2. So I move 2 steps to the right. This on the same thing. Also, it is the same thing. So the shape will be going on the other side of the mirror. The mirror line this time is z x equals 2. X equals z negative 2. So this is the image when you reflect this shape. This is your mirror here, which is x equals z negative 2. So, okay, very good. How many marks have you got? 2, 3, 2. Most of the time, the question is of rotation and enlargement are the one that are carrying 3 marks whenever you're describing. Okay, question 5. Are you ready? Very good. These are the first 3 terms of the sequence. You have 1, 8, 27, 64, 125. Okay. Find the 10th term. Before I do that, I need to know what is happening in my sequence. When you check all of these sequences, this is 1 power 3, 2 power 3, 3 power 3, 4 power 3, so 5 power 3. So that means the next term will be 6 power 3, you get that? 7 power 3. So, but the question that was asking me 10th term, so it will be 10 power 3, so the number will be that one, okay? Very good. I hope you understand that. These are the first 5 terms of a different sequence. It's different from that. What is happening? When you check in my sequence here, I have 5, 8. Okay, so this is not a arithmetic sequence because the first difference is not the same. But let me check the second difference. So the second difference here is plus 2. If you can see that, plus 2. This is that, plus 2. Okay, that is quadratic sequence. So fast forward, this will be 5, 8, 13, 20, 29, seconds, 29 here, altogether, guys. So what is the quadratic sequence? And the first difference is 2. So I'm going to use square numbers 1, 4, 9. Then what's the next thing? Square number, guys? 16. What's the next square number? 25. Because I'm using square numbers. When I subtract what I get, I'll get 4, 4, 4, 4 here. This is the square numbers, and then the sum of square numbers is n squared plus that. So that gives me that. Very good. The sum of first n terms of another sequence is that. Okay. Use n equals to 2 to find the sum of the first 2 terms. Okay. When n is 2, so the sum of our terms is going to be 9. Substitute in the formula. N is 2, put here 2. So that's why I have 2 over 2. 5 times 2, because that's 5n minus 1. So my nth term is going to be 9. So the sum of first 2 terms is going to be 9. Okay. Find the third term of this sequence. Okay, very good. Now, just give me the third term. Okay, there are many ways of doing this question, or different ways of approaching it, but the easier way, let me do it this way. So, can I find when n is 3, what's the sum of 3 terms? So it's going to be 3. Remember the formula, guys? The formula is here. So it's n over 3, 5 times that minus that. So what do I get? I'm going to get 5. I have to do brackets first. So 15 minus 1 gives me 14. 14 when I simplify here by 2 get 7, so gives me 21. So the sum of first 3 terms is 21. And the sum of first 2 terms is 9. So the difference of the 2 will be equal to the third term. Okay? I hope you understand the way the sequence works. You have U1, you have U2, you have U3. How do we get the sum? Sum 1 will be equal to U1. Sum of the second of the 2 terms will be equal to S1 plus U2. Okay? What about S3? S3 will be equal to S2 plus U3. That is what I did here. Oh, my bad. Will be equal to 3 here. Okay? I hope you get that. So if that's the case, Let me do it. You see that? So make now, I'm looking for this one. So which will be S3 minus S2, which will give me my U3. I hope you understand that. Very good. Okay, first point. Now expand this. It's just simple expansion, free 2 marks in the exam. If you know your algebra, just expand. If I multiply here, I'll get 15x cubed. This time here gives me 10, and that's my answer. Very good. Okay, write down the inequality in y shown on the number line. Okay, as shown on the number line. You have to be careful. This is shaded. This one is shaded. That means it's included, and this one is not included. So what the number is this? That's a negative 2.5. And what the number is that? This is 4. So my numbers are from negative 1.5, 1.5, 1.5. Sorry guys, 1.5. Okay. So it's from negative 1.5 to that one. Okay. So you are describing this region from here to here. The difference here, this one will be included. That's why I said greater or equal to, or less or equal to, depending on which position you're talking about. Okay, very good. Now, Hadi buys a dishwasher, whatever it can be, can either pay a single payment of this, okay, single payment of that, and he can pay using a monthly plan. The monthly plan is 20 of this plus 12 installment of this. Hadi uses the monthly plan. He decided to use monthly plan. By the way, it's good because you're saving your money, but it will be more expensive, but it's very good business-wise. If you're doing business, talk to your business teacher. We'll explain you in details about that. Now, what's the 20% of that? 20% of that will be this one. Now, plus 12 installments, which is 12 times the installment he pays in 12 months. So when you work out this in your calculator, it's a calculator paper, this amount of money is going to pay. But if he did pay, if he paid it at once, he would have just paid this only, right? This is this. But because he paid installment, he has paid this 980, but here he paid 1,099. Find the percentage increase in the cost using the monthly plan compared to the single payment. Okay. Now, he paid this. What's the percentage? How much did he pay more? It will be 1,099 minus 980 over this to get the percentage. So this will be your percentage increase. I hope you understand. You know how to get the percentage increase. Very good. Next question. In a sense, the original price of a sewing machine is reduced by 38 in this, and this is the 80% reduction in the original price. Work out the original price of the sewing machine. Okay, very good. So there are different ways of approaching the question, but let me do with this. 8% of what we don't know is this one. So that means if I work out the question here, I'll get it's going to be 8x over 100, cost multiply, divide by 8. So this will be the cost of the machine. Write down all the factors of 18. Okay, these are the factors of 18. I hope I didn't miss any, but you can check if I didn't. By the way, I didn't, I'm sure. Okay, very good. What about this one? 3y, here it's factorizing. Whenever you have 4 terms, please, there's a day, group 2, as I always say in my class, okay, group 2. When I group this and this, the highest common factor is y, so many with z, 3 minus x. What about here? So I factorize 5 is common, I'll get 3 minus x. So this one goes with that, I'll get y plus 5. Then this and this are the same, I write 3 minus. So that's your answer, very good. Now, very good question, okay? Now, if you try to move very fast here, this is what you have. Where x and y are positive integers, that's what I said, using your answers to part A and B. Okay, part A and B. Do you see that? Yeah, this is the hint of your question. That's the hint, okay? Part A, that's the hint to base on. So use your answers to part A and part B. Find one possible value of x and the corresponding value of y. So there are very many possible values. I listed all of them, but you just based on what you have here. You have to base from what we have here. So you can check. So I wrote all the possible scenarios here, but you have to choose from that basing on that one. Okay, very good. You can write any of them. So the factors of 18. So from what I have, if I go with 1, I'm going to have 18, right? So if x is 1, here we'll get 2. So different possible scenarios. You can check them and write the answers here. Okay, very good question. I like this paper because it had map scales, which are very common in the exams. Very common and interesting topic. So they told you the house has area of that, okay? And then the scale is this. Calculate the floor area on the plan, okay? They're asking you the area on the map. So they brought in area, so I always advise students square your scale. So if I square one map on the scale, which is 1 centimeter, is representing that. When you square, you get that. So if that's the case, this one will be equal to 1. This one will be equal to 1. So I change this one to centimeter squared. You see, that's why I did this one squared, which will give me this one. I converted this meter squared to centimeter squared. Okay. Now, basically it means I have to get this one divided by this. So which will give me this one. When I divide it, it will give me that centimeter squared. Okay. Now, very good question. The diagram shows a triangle of this one. Calculate the shortest distance from Q to P. Okay, this is the shortest distance because they said from there. Okay, now if that's the shortest distance, and I do that, normally whenever they say shortest distance, you have to come, you move from PR, you come to Q, and then you're going to make 90 degrees. Even here it's 90 degrees, guys, but I didn't have an angle here. So I preferred picking this right angle triangle. So opposite, hypotenuse. That's sign, right? Sokatua, guys, okay? Sokatua, so it's going to be this one, okay? So if you follow Sokatua, it's going to be opposite hypotenuse. It's going to be sine equals to that, cross multiply. That is the shortest distance, and it's in centimeters, and it's given. Very good. Make x the subject for this one, okay? Now, we are making x the subject. So we have to correct like terms. Bring this on the other side. So I'll get this one. 5x divided by 5 both sides, I'll get this. Then you need to find the square root. So you're going to get this. Don't forget to write plus or minus, please. Square root of 4, guys. Square root of 4 is not 2. It's plus or minus 2. Okay? Very good. That's why I'm putting plus or minus here. Fantastic. Very good. The table shows some values of this. Okay? Copy and complete. So you have to put there this value in here. If you put there, you get -2. So I can do one of them. Let me do the negative one. So it's going to be f bracket -1. So it's going to be 5 in brackets, guys. Make sure your calculator does that very well. Squared minus 1 bracket -1 power 3, then minus 4. If you type this one in your calculator, it will give you that. You do the same thing for 1, you do the same thing for 4. Then that's how you're going to get these numbers. Now, time to scale. This for me was a sketch. If you draw your points correctly, your graph should look like that. You have to do it very well, okay? And whenever you're sketching, you have to use your free hand. Don't use a ruler. You have to sketch it with a free hand, okay? So when you sketch the graph, if you plot your points, -2, 24, -2, 4, your point will come here. Then the next point is the -1, 2. You have to check the scale back, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that means each line here on y-axis stands for, on y, that means the scale is going to be 0.1. Even for y, you better check. I mean for x, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So also for x-axis, the scale is going to be 0.1. Very important to identify the scale before you start plotting, okay? So when you join your points, you're going to have that. By drawing a suitable straight line on the grid to solve the equation this. Okay, is this what you plotted? Check. They are not the same guy. Here I have 5x squared minus x cubed minus 4. They are different. So what happened to my equation to become this? So basically, get your new graph minus original graph to see what happened. This is what happened to your graph. Now, if you draw the graph of this, there are different ways you can do. Let me go the one I like with the table, but you can do that one, the straight line graph. You can sketch it easier. So what if x is 0? What's going to be y? It's going to be 10. What if x is 5? Just choose any value. It's going to be 5. 3 points are enough, guys. What if it is 10? It's going to be 0, right? But if you check on the graph, I don't have 10, so the best way, don't choose 10, because you have to choose the numbers that are on the graph. So I have 0, I have -2. You can do -2 if you want, but let me go with the 4. If I go with 4, it will be 10 minus 4, which will give me 6. And when you draw your graph, the graph of that, so this is the, this one here will be y equals 10 minus x, okay? Very good. Good. So then they say after drawing that, you have to find the point of intersection where they are meeting. So they are meeting here, and they are also meeting at this point. So you have to come down straight, okay? This is where they're meeting. So the solution, the first solution of your answer, one of my solutions here, it will be this. Oh, here I didn't continue it. If you continue, it will be this one. And then when you read your values, when you come down here, accuracy. Me, this is a scale. It should be better, okay? If you work it out, you are going to have that. Let me try to see. This is the -1.1, -1.2, -1.3, so -1.4. It's because I didn't sketch it very well. If you do it very well, trust me. Okay, if you see where they're meeting here. See, they're meeting at some point here. So it gives you the interval of these values. Okay, now the next one is here. So if you check 1, 2, let me move it down. At this point, 1, 2, okay, let me come here. That's the point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is basically -4 point. If you check, so this is what they gave. From what I have me, I'm getting that. So always IGCSE in the exam, they give the interval. But when you check, this is the value I'm getting. Even here, I got negative something like that. Okay, very good. Okay. The height of each of this basketball is given by that. This is a frequency table. This is the interval given, and then they're asking you to work out that. Okay. Now, calculate an estimate mean. The keyword here is estimate, and it's mean. Mean of any function is always given by summation of fx over sum of f. Okay, that's what I have to do. So here, I don't have x, I have to find the midpoint. So the midpoint is this one plus this. So I can do it here. 160 plus 170 divided by 2. That's why I'm getting the midpoint. You do the same thing here. 180, the next class, plus 185 divided by 2. That's where I got this. Do you understand, guys? That's where I got 170. Oh, here it was 180. Here it was 180, guys. Okay, that's why I get 170. Here you add this plus this, divide by 2. You get that. This plus this gives you this. That gives you what you call midpoint. And whenever you're finding the estimate mean, you use the midpoint. So my midpoint here will be that. That's why I have this times 7. Then the next one, the midpoint is this times this. That's why I have 12 here. So the next one is this one times 31. That's why I'm getting it. The next one, 195 times 70. Okay, that's why I have that. Divide by the sum of frequency. Sum of frequency. You add this plus that, plus this, plus that, plus that, plus that. But in most of the times in the exam, this one is given. So that's why I got 140, and when you work out, will give you that. And if you give it to three significant figures, I'm going to have 192. Is that okay, guys? Very good. I hope you have understood. If there's any step you didn't understand, just write in the comments. I'll get back to you very fast. At EK Math, here we love mathematics. I'm passionate about teaching. Please, if there is anything, any step I skip, you didn't understand, just write in the comments. I'll get back to you any day, anytime. I'm always available to answer any question. Good. Here we go. Question B, probability question. Two of the pairs are chosen at random. Find the probability that both pairs have a height greater than this. Be careful with that. Greater but not more than that. Which class is that? If we check 90 and 200, this is the one we are talking about. Let me try to use a different color so that you can visualize. This is the class. How many do we have? 70. We are choosing there 70. We are choosing from 70. And we are choosing there 2. Okay. So probability of choosing the first person will be all of them, they're candidates. You can choose any of them. So 7 out of 140. One of them is already out. Choosing the second person, 71 will reduce to be 69, and the total is reduced to be 139. So when you multiply them, you have this one, okay? Very good. So multiply this in your GDC, and then when you simplify. But for probability, it doesn't matter. You don't need to simplify or give your answer in decimal. It's all of them, they are round, unless they have specified, simplify, or write it as a decimal. All the time for IGCSE, your answers can be given as a decimal, as a fraction, or as a percentage. All of them, they are allowed. There's no problem. Just here I simplified because I had a calculator and I simplified that. Well done. Good. Next. I hope you are still together, guys. Good. Another common thing in exam. Very interesting question. They like most is completing what we call histogram. And whenever you're doing histogram, we have to use the frequency density. So frequency density is given by frequency over class width. Go back to my frequency table. Now, this is what I did here. I put their frequency table. Remember, frequency table is given by frequency density is given by frequency over class width. Okay. Now, what is the frequency here? 7. Do you get that, guys? 7 divided by the class width. The class width is 20. So basically, it's going to be 7 over the class width, which is the 180 minus 160, which is the 20. That's why it goes 0.7. I mean 0.35. What about here? It will be 12 divided by, what's the class width, guys? The class width here will be 5. What 12 divided by 5 gives you 2.4. That's where I got that from. Okay? Should I continue or you have understood? The next class frequency density will be 31 divided by the class width is here. It's 5 as well, which will give me 6.2. That's why I got my frequency density. So whenever you're drawing histogram, on your y-axis, you are going to have frequency density. And then here, you're going to have classes, the class boundary. This is the one I'm talking about, okay? Fast forward. Now, the first class is 160 to 170. And if you check the frequency density is 0.7, 0.35, okay? Very good. That's why I came and did here and I shared it. The next one, if you check, the next one was 2.4 and the class width is 2.4. The class width is 180 to 185. Okay, that's what I have here. And the next one is that. So that's what I was doing. I was plotting frequency density against the classes. Okay, maybe I can write them here one more time for everyone to see. So I had 0.5, I mean 0.35, I had 2.4. That's my frequency density, guys. Okay. The next one was the The next one is Z, 2.4, 6.2, 6.2. That's my frequency density. Then the next one is 7, because it's 70 divided by 10, 7. The last one is going to be 2, okay? Why 2? It is 20 divided by 10, okay? Good. It's 2. Remember, frequency density is given by frequency over class width. That's what you have to keep in your mind, okay? This is what is very important for you guys, okay? Very good. So now that's this one. This is what has to come here. And then these are classes, okay? Very good. Question 16. Mateo invests this at an interest rate per year, compound interest of that. At the end of 6 years, the total value of interest is that. This is the formula for compound interest, guys, where this is the principal amount of money invested, amount of money bought from the bank. This is the interest rate. These are number of years, okay? From the question, we have the total value of interest. That is the A. That's what I have. And then invested amount or bought from the bank. That's what we have. What do we do? Now, I have to get this one, divide by that. Then, because I'm doing the reverse, so it's for 6, I have to do 6 root of that. I have to do 6 root of this. So now, I'll remain with that, correct like terms. Then I take the one on the other side. Then I multiply by 100. The answer will be this to 3 significant figures, okay? I hope I'm talking to someone here. Very good. Next. Sine rule, cosine rule. This is a triangle. Then they said find AD. Find AD. What do I have? I have this, this, and this. Whenever you have two sides, one angle looking for third side will be cosine rule. So that's why I did it. Do you remember cosine rule, guys? A squared is equal to B squared plus C squared minus 2BC for C angle A. Okay? Very good. That is it. So if I'm looking for this side, so it will be this squared plus this squared. You get that, guys? So minus 2 times of that was 56. Then type that in your calculator, do square root of that, and that will be your value here, guys. Okay? Now, they said find, very interesting question here, guys. Okay? Calculate the obtuse angle of BDC. BDC. This is the angle they're asking me, and it has to be an obtuse. Okay? Now, what do you see? I have this side, I have this side, one angle looking for second angle. That is two sides, one angle looking for second angle. That will always be cosine rule. So that's what I did it. Angle D over, it will be this one, this angle, sine angle, this one over that, sine of this angle over this. Then cross multiply. When I cross multiply, I'm going to have this one, you see? When I cross multiply, when I multiply that one, will give me that. Type this in your calculator, do sine inverse of that, then this is your angle. Now, the angle I'm getting will be acute angle. It's acute angle, which is less than 90. But they told me it's an obtuse angle. And guys, I hope you remember this. All students take chemistry. Sine is positive in the first quarter and the second. So sine is positive in the first quarter and the second. How do we get the angles in the second quarter? 180 minus C, your acute angle. And my acute angle in this context is this one. So it's 72.74. That's why I did that one and I get this value. Good. Then they said calculate the area of a quadrilateral. Find the area of the quadrilateral. Okay? So I have to find the area of this triangle and the area of this triangle. And you need to remember the area of a triangle that is not a right angle triangle is given by I have AB sine C. Is that okay, guys? So now if I'm consider the first triangle, I have this side, I don't have any problem. That side, guys, is it's 12.1, and this side, and I have the angle between them, no problem with that. So you apply the formula, and then you get this area. Now, when you come to this triangle, I have this side, I have this side, I can't use the end of this angle. So I have to remember angles in a triangle, add up to 1 180. So it's going to be 180 minus minus 100. Oh, yes, I had it here. 107 plus 47. And then this is my angle here. Okay. You type that in a calculator. So this is the angle I'm going to use to calculate the area of a triangle. Because if I have this side and this side, I can't use the angles that are opposite to that. I have to use the angle between the two. Okay, fantastic. So if you add them, that will be the area. Question 18. Completing the squares. So here A is not 1, so I need to factorize 2. So how many is x squared plus 6x minus 1? Are we together here? So then divide this by 2, I'll get x plus 3 squared. Square this one, I'll get minus 1. Then I mean minus 9, so minus 1 here. So what's minus 9 minus 1? Will give me minus 9. So I have 2 here. Then if I subtract here, I'm going to have 10 times 2, I'll get this one. This 2 multiplies here to get 20. Now, what's the value of A? The value of A is 2. What's the value of B? Is going to be that. And the value of that, this one. Some questions in the exam, they can even ask you to find the maximum or the minimum point. If they ask you the vertex here will be equal to, in case they ask you that, it will be -3. Okay, very good. -3, -20. If there's something you don't understand, let me know in the comments, guys. Okay, comments below. Very good. Just allow me to do something here and then proceed. Now, question, very good question. Question 19. The diagram shows a major sector of a radius of that. Find the perimeter. Perimeter, you have to move around the shape adding. And then they say major sector. Basically, they're talking about this. So we need to get the arc length of this. And the angle given is this. So I have to get 360 minus 128. Many students in the exam, they make a mistake and they use 126. They make a mistake and use this one. No, guys. You have to use this one because they're talking about major sector. Okay, so this is when you subtract, you get that. So the arc length is the formula. Okay, theta over 360 times 2 pi r. Guys, those who do additional math or any other mathematics, whenever you're working, you're doing IGCSE extended math, or even if it's core, make sure your calculator is in degrees, okay? So that you don't make a mistake. So when you work out, this is the arc length plus the radius here, because if you're moving a perimeter, you move around the shape. So be that plus this plus that. So that's why I have 5.5, 7.5, 7.5 gives me that. All together? Very good. Question 20. Very good question in the paper, okay? Question 20 here. Okay, we have, okay, wow, we almost done. Good, fantastic. Question 20, which I think was the best question in the paper. Calculate the angle between OA and calculate the angle that OA makes with the base. Okay, so they are talking this one, this side. It makes with the base. Basically, this is the one here. Okay, so this is the right angle triangle they are talking about. So this is the angle you're looking for. This is the one I called theta here, and I had my height as 24, and then I have if I'm to get the angle, because I don't have this side, so I need to get this one. So if you check, this is the diagonal. This is here, this is the diagonal. Is the diagonal of the square at the base. Okay. So now if I do like this, I have 90 degrees, and this is 10.5, and this is 10.5. So I'm going to square them. So, and find this one, which will be a half of that. So when you check, this side here will be that. Do you understand what I did here, guys? So it could be 10 squared plus 10 squared, which will give me the whole of AC. But I'm looking for AM, so it will be a half of that. So that's what I got here. And tan Sokatua one more time, if you remember. Sokatua, guys. So it's going to be, so if I consider that will be tan, because I'm talking about opposite and adjacent. So if you work out, this is what you're going to have, okay? Very good. Next question. Wow, very good question. The diagram shows a pattern of the pyramid. Okay, they had a full pyramid. They cut off one part, so they remained with this shape. Calculate the volume of that. Now, what shape is this? Is there any 3D shape that's similar to that? No way. We don't have a 3D shape that is similar to that. So the best way to do this question, you have to consider a big pyramid and the smaller pyramid they cut off. Let me shade it like that. Okay, guys, did you hear what I'm saying? Big pyramid and the small pyramid they cut off. That's what you have to go with. Okay, very good. Now, what will be the volume of the big pyramid? Volume of a pyramid, guys. Okay, it's a half. 1/3 times the base area, then times the height. Okay, keep that one in your mind. Very good. Now, basing on this, here I'm talking about big trapezium, the full, why am I saying trapezium? Pyramid, guys. So big pyramid is going to be 1/3. The base is a square. That's what I did. Base, height times side, then times the height. That is the volume of a big pyramid before they cut off. Now, I need to get the area of the smaller pyramid. My gosh, how do I get it? This is the way I get it. I need to have, if I'm to get it, I should get to the side of this one. Now I have to do that using similarity. Okay? The full height of a pyramid is 24. What is the height they cut off? Because the remaining, the remaining is 16. It was 24 minus 16. So the height of pyramid they cut off is 8. Okay. Now, big similarity. The big height of a pyramid is 24 divided by the height of a small pyramid should be the same. The length, the side of square of a pyramid, which is 10 overlap. When you cross multiply, you're going to have this. So that is the side of the square of a pyramid they cut off. Okay, very good. Now, how do we get the area of a pyramid? I've already said is the area of the base, and my base is a square. So it will be 3.5 times 3.5 times 8 and divide, then gives that. Then subtract the 2. So this gives you the area of this shape remaining. Well done. 5-marker question. Okay? Very good. If you do a question like this in the exam, you start feeling proud of yourself. Good. Now, question 21. By the way, if you haven't watched my video on indices, I did very many questions of indices for past paper questions. I would advise you to look for that video and watch it. I did very many questions on indices. So from here, they don't have the same bases. I'll start by expressing them in base 2. 16 is the 2 power 4, and the 64 is 2 power 6. 4 is 2 power 4. I did cross multiplication. I hope you understand that step. When you're multiplying numbers of the same bases, you add the powers. So that's why I have 2 plus that, then gives me that. So if bases are equal, powers are going to be equal. So that's how I have 20 equals to that. Now, they told me to find m in terms of n. So divide by m both sides, then I factorize 2. So this will be my answer. Very good. Okay, fast forward. They gave you, those who do physics, guys, what formula is that? Those who are not doing physics, don't worry. It's a current equals to voltage over current. Current is voltage over resistance, but in math, we don't care about that. So they told you this, correct to 10. So that means I'll do 10 divided by 2. That's how I got 5 here. And I did plus or minus to get upper bound, and subtracted to get lower bound. Then here they said it's 13, correct the nearest integer. That's 1 divided by 2, and that gives me 0.5. Then I do plus or minus, I get my upper bound. Then we are dividing. Whenever we are dividing, guys, and you are looking for upper bound, you should get upper bound over lower bound. Okay? That's why I did upper bound divided by upper bound divided by lower bound. Do you get that? So if you are dividing and you're looking for upper bound, should be upper over lower. If I'm looking for lower bound, if I'm looking for lower bound, it will be lower over upper bound. Okay. The same thing goes when you are subtracting, guys. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching my video. EK Math, we love mathematics. Like, share, comment. I'm planning to continue doing more videos. I'm going to do time zone 4-2, time zone 4-3, and even do paper 2, the ones without calculator, guys. Okay. If you have any problem, write that in the comments. Thank you. EK Math, we love mathematics. Thank you very much.